Content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Man, screw you guys.
The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
Pop Talk is where it's at, baby.
Do we really have opinions on this show?
Fortunately.
Yeah, what do you think Cash is? Do you think it's just there to talk? Of course he gives us an opinion. You don't really grind my gears.
What people don't understand is we're just heads in a jar, like Futurama.
No, Mike and I are. You're an AI. But,
maybe so.
Oh, I can't wait for us
I
to
hate
get
to
into
break it to you both, but my head's still attached to my shoulders.
Oh, you get so lucky. Okay, are we ready for 3 hours of acolyte talk? I am, I tell you what. I'm kidding, people. I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
It's a joke. Lighten up.
Everybody's leaving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we went right down to 0. 23 to 0. I'll tell you. Probably what the score of the...
Bear's more excited about Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom.
Oh, you know it. Oh, you know it.
You guys already talked about that last Wednesday.
We did?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay.
No, we actually did.
Pirate edition of...
We also talked about that on
Don't you
Beyond
remember?
as well, so...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We just weren't the ones who brought it up.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to this edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk, live on the Pacific414 YouTube channel, Rumble channel, Baron Orman Tagge's Phantom Legacy, and the Phantom Hooligans.
Yes.
Hooligans this week, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to have the hooligans, don't you know? If everything works right. Now, keep that power grid up there, Cash.
Right.
Talk to your buddy Gavin. Make sure you got that special line of power.
I think we'll be okay this week.
Yeah.
Along with Baron Orman Tagge, Cashmoney007, I am your host, Mike. And tonight we have several articles that we're going to be talking about, whether we talk about them all on both the YouTube and Rumble side, or for the first 2 hours on YouTube and Rumble, then in the third hour on Rumble exclusively. We'll find out. But
Rumble,
we are going to get to one of our main articles on both sides. And one of our main articles for both sides is Scott Grimes was recently at Star Trek Las Vegas, which is the annual Las Vegas convention for Star Trek. It is no longer official, last I heard, as Creation has backed out of that convention in particular, but they still hold it at the Rio every year. And apparently he mentioned some possible good news for a fourth season of the Orville.
So this is one of the
sucks.
safe conventions, right? Because we know with conventions now, it seems like you have to arm yourself and wear a Kevlar and stuff lately. But
I don't know. I don't trust Creation Con, so maybe it's a good thing they don't have Creation Con in charge of this.
Okay.
They're not. I don't think they're much better than Comic Con.
Well,
I don't know. From what I've heard about Star Trek conventions, specifically the one in Las Vegas. Now, again, I've only heard this. I haven't experienced it for myself.
Right.
It's just not as entertaining as it used to be. I mean, I even saw, somebody on X saying, "Yeah, I was at the Star Trek convention this weekend, and it didn't take long before politics were brought up, and we found out how Kate Mulgrew felt about a certain side and how Jerry Ryan feels about a certain side."
See, this is just, it's too much, man. You've got to keep that. You need to understand your fan base. Not everybody's going to have the same politics as you are.
No,
it's stupid to just start dividing people like that.
And the person even said, "I go to a convention to escape politics.
Yeah.
I don't go to a convention to be a part of politics."
Yeah, that's all it. That's how it used to be. That's how it should always be. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
Wrestle on for Lord President.
Yeah. But also, speaking of Star Trek, it is a sad bit of news for any of us who watch Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Generations, Star Trek First Contact, because Patty Yasutake has passed away. Now, for those who may not be familiar with her, she played Nurse Ogawa starting in the 4th season of Star Trek The Next Generation. And she was also referred to as Dr. Ogawa in the episode Parallels of Next Generation. But unfortunately, she lost her battle with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Yeah. And Baron and I haven't watched the show, but Cash has, and apparently an actor from Ted Lasso offers promising 4th season update. Two updates on a season 4 for 2 completely different shows, but
and Cash is such an uber fan for Ted Lasso. I mean, his favorite show of all time. He always, remember how he always bragged about it? And it's like, this is so great. No, not O'Brien's.
No, that was somebody else. Yeah, I know. Yeah. You think that way. I understand why people think that, but
no, this was the nurse. She was in the movie Gung Ho, the TV show Gung Ho, amongst other stuff. A lot of guest starring appearances, and it's I can't remember the name of Keiko O'Brien. No, that's the daughter.
Rosalind Shaw.
Yeah, Rosalind Shaw is the actress, but she's still alive, and I think the big thing is one's Japanese and one's Korean, if I remember right. I don't know. I could be wrong.
And then we have a rumor from Cosmic Book News. Keyword on it being a rumor. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that Marvel Studios fired woke producers after Phase 4 failure claims rumor. Well, if they supposedly did, why do they keep failing upwards? and don't tell me that Deadpool and Wolverine means that the MCU is back. It's not back because of that movie.
And you're setting yourself for disappointment if you think it is. So.
Disney, Marvel's back, baby.
And we have another story from Cosmic Book News where it says Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon director's cuts bombs with critics and fans on Rotten Tomatoes.
Did you hear that? Do you hear that? It's amazing. I heard the scream from Norway.
Oh,
wow. Okay, get ready. Get ready. We're going to be inundated. Especially if we're reading that story when he pops in.
Well, we'll find out. And our last story of the night, if we get to it, of course, is from That Park Place, and it says Hoyoverse boycott completely fails as Zenless Zone Zero makes nearly $100 million in July, and Hoyoverse revenues increased by nearly 10%.
$100 million.
And Padawanabe says thumbs all around. Thank you for thumbing up every channel that you see Pop Talk on.
Phrasing. Shut up, man. You keep that thumb away from me.
I don't intend on getting any of my digits near you.
Not you. I'm talking about Padawanabe.
Yeah. But first, let's go into the main story here and see what Scott Grimes had to say about season 4 of Seth MacFarlane's The Orville. And also, before we go on with the story, hello to Decepticon's Cave of Collectables. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, man.
Hope you're doing well. So let me get the article posted on YouTube and Rumble. And I'll go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get into it.
Woohoo!
Now, if this is true, well, then I can say I was wrong because of the way the final episode of season 3 ended, it felt like a series finale. So, this article is by Jamie Jurax. It was posted on August 4th, and it says the Orville Season 4 reportedly set to begin production in early 2025. Scott Grimes shared a promising update about the Orville during Star Trek Las Vegas. It's been a long journey for Seth MacFarlane's live-action sci-fi comedy, The Orville. The series first debuted on Fox in 2017, and after 2 seasons on network, the series returned for a 3rd season exclusively on Hulu. Today marks 2 years since the 3rd season came to an end, and fans have been eager to find out if a 4th season is on the way. As of April, the show has not been officially renewed, but MacFarlane gave a promising update saying there will be more. While fans have yet to get an official season 4 announcement, some exciting news just came out of Star Trek Las Vegas. According to multiple people who attended the convention, the Orville star Scott Grimes shared during a performance that a 4th season of the Orville will begin filming in January 2025. While Hulu has yet to officially announce the renewal, many people who attended Star Trek Las Vegas took to social media to share Grimes' news. Scott Grimes just put out that the Orville will start shooting a new season after New Year's sometime. And then it goes on to say the official Twitter account for the Orville hasn't tweeted since April 2023, but we'll be keeping an eye out for any updates. Right before the strike, it feels like we were going to announce the season 4, Grimes shared last year. I think it's a better than good possibility that we get to do this again. This is Seth's little child. He loves to do the Orville, and it'd be a shame if we didn't get to do one more season. So I would say that I'm optimistic. That's what I would say. I'm trying to remember what the exact well-worded, polite statement was that Hulu put out. All I can say is the same thing that Hulu said, which is the show is not dead. Nobody has told me that it's dead from the network, so we're proceeding under those auspicious. Let's see, MacFarlane added at the time. And it goes on to say, it's tough to chart what exactly season 4 would be, because when we started writing season 3, half of the stuff that happened, the shifting of alliances, the Kalon becoming an ally, and the Mocklins becoming enemies, I never could have predicted. It's just something that came out in the writer's room over time. Excuse me. Over time, certainly we set up threads this year, and most were pretty obvious that lend themselves to payoffs in a season 4. But now everything intertwines and evolves and develops. I don't even know if we're picked up. Stay tuned for more updates about the Orville. So, honestly, because they don't know, who's to say that the show is going to come back for a 4th season? What if they're going to do a TV movie? That's always a possibility.
Yeah.
And I don't know. How many people are still interested in the Orville, especially since it has been 2 years since the end of season 3? That's another question you have to ask yourself. You know, a 2-year layoff. Would people still be clamoring to watch, say, 10 episodes, 10 90-minute episodes again?
Well, wasn't there a big delay between 2 and 3 as well?
Yes. And part of that delay was because of the coup.
Yep. The Koopa Doop Doop.
I will say this about season 3, Yoram. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed season 2. Season 2, in my opinion, had the perfect balance of drama and comedy. In season 3, they seem to go more for the political route, like you're saying, and more of the drama and less of the comedy. And if you're doing a satirical version of Star Trek and you
Mhm.
happen to find that right balance between the comedy and the drama,
Mhm.
wouldn't you want to go with that? I would think so, but we all have to remember Seth MacFarlane is an activist.
Yep. They should have
So
been
that
much more like Galaxy Quest, where you had the seriousness and the comedy mixed together beautifully.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, he is, and even as arrogant he is about Family Guy, it's fallen hard, and it's gotten
Yeah.
more political and more one-sided than anything else. And when any show, especially a comedy, is afraid to make certain jokes that they made before, that's a huge problem right there. Huge problem. So that kind of stuff could unfortunately happen in the Orville. But I know you guys enjoyed a lot of the Orville, right? Just like Spock.
I enjoyed it, especially in
Yeah.
season 2. Even Retro Gamer and Suki here, and it's good to see you, brother. It
Hmm.
says peak Orville was like season 2, the end of season 1, in my opinion. Then I waited for so long for season 3, I totally forgot. I watched it. I had to rewatch it as of today. I totally forgot. I have to rewatch it. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm saying. Is you have a 2-year gap in this case between seasons. How many people are going to even remember about the Orville? Have interest in the Orville?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
Not much. Just
Mhm.
doing live streams 4 times a week and hanging out with all of you.
I mean, and this is not a slight to the Orville or what, but as much as Scott this cult following, which is great because that's what a lot of our science fiction. I don't think it really has that strong of one compared to other franchises. I don't know if it's because of the intermittent, being intermittent like it is. Seth MacFarlane going total activist on us. Let's face it, he's got quite an ego on him.
Oh, he
When it
does.
comes to that stuff, and such. I think Mike is actually right. Do a series of TV movies, maybe a couple a year or something like that, like like you do with Star Trek when it went to the motion pictures itself. And that might be the best way to do it. We got streaming service now that is perfect for that, and that way you can focus on one great story instead of trying to have, however that's in the how many episodes do you usually have for a season. You can just focus on one and then focus on another one and just put all your effort into it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think it's. I just.
I was just going to add real quick because
Mhm.
there still are some plot threads from season 4 that they could not season 4, season 3 that they could wrap up in a season 4, and one of them has to do with the spider race. I'm not going to say what it led up to the spider race, but all I'm going to say is that there's still some plot threads they could wrap up. And when it came to especially the last few episodes of the Orville season 3, just the way the alliance between the Kalons and the Union came together so quickly and was still together even after they did what they accomplished for their goal. It just seemed rushed, and it also didn't seem to make sense when they put everything together. That's just my opinion. And hello to Spock's Friday Nights. Yeah, it did end on a good note.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I see where you're going at, Spot, because you and I have talked about this previously. But do you think 2 years is just too long? I'm going to ask all of you. Do you think 2 years is just too long between seasons for people to have an interest in a fourth season? Maybe they'll have more interest in a TV movie than a fourth season. But then that TV movie would have to be good. Like you said, Barry. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I honestly think peak Orville was season 2. And then, of course, the layoff because of the coup, I think that really hurt the show.
Yeah. And now if they even do another season, it's going to be even longer between the two. Yeah. It's perfect to start off fresh in that one sense of the way and just focus on maybe doing a couple movies a year and go that way. Yeah, that way that should hopefully make everybody happy.
Yeah, and I think it's funny that there's still people out there that say, "Oh, well, the Orville is just a ripoff of Star Trek. Why can't it just be a tribute to Star Trek?"
That's exactly what it is. It is a tribute to Star Trek.
That's how I feel about it. Yeah, I don't.
He created the Orville after Les Moonves denied him on creating a Star Trek series, so he created his own series, and it was the Orville.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Seth MacFarlane was in an episode of Enterprise. That's so crazy.
Yeah, a couple of episodes, actually.
Yeah, that's right. I guess he was. It's just so crazy. It's great.
No, because he's a big Star Trek geek.
Mm-hmm. He is.
I mean, that's how he had
like
the cast the Next Generation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Come back for an episode of Family Guy, and in that episode where they stopped at McDonald's and Michael Dora wants a McBLT.
Yeah.
and with Denise Crosby, Stewie kills her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the Orville made a lot of people happy. So, but
it did.
I understand. But I do agree with other people. You push too much politics in this that doesn't need to be in there, that doesn't add to the story. It's going to become a problem. Did you guys feel that way more? Did you still enjoy season 3? I know Spock did. I've talked to Spock about that.
There was some episodes I enjoyed more than others. To be honest, I mean, Jet Sparks brings up the fact that we find out that Ed has a half-Krill daughter in Gently Falling Rain, and I agree with you, Jet. I would like to see her integrated more into the series, and I would like to see the relationship between Bortus and the crew, how he and Clyden have gotten back together, and of course the Mocklins are now the enemies of the Union. And then, of course, you had Alara come back in this season finale for season 3, or as I've been dubbing it, the series finale.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Talia, and so there are avenues they could take a 4th season, but the thing is, will Disney support them?
Right,
because
exactly.
You have to remember that the Orville is under the Disney umbrella. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the way Seth MacFarlane's been basically a wokey pokey, they'd love to. They'd love to. I mean,
they have no plan. Mm-hmm. I mean, Family Guy's still under Disney, so yeah, because they own 20th Century Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is Doctor Who isn't doing Disney much good, so this is their chance to at least try to poison people's minds with Seth MacFarlane and encourage them on to drag the show even more into mediocrity. And reason why I say that is when you're using the show for activism, that's what's going to happen. And he should be encouraged not to. Messages is one thing, but going out and preaching and belittling people and And I'm much more intelligent than you. You should listen to me. You don't know anything.
Right.
Which
exactly.
he really is good at.
Yeah, yes. And Retro Gamer Yasuki has a good point. As long as the show is more interesting plot wise or funny wise, I don't let the political agenda or woke agenda affect me or other people's opinion of how similar it is or trying to be to something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're being told a good story and
Right.
you have characters in those stories that you care about,
Mhm.
you're not gonna let things like, a
Yeah.
woke message here, a woke message there bother you. You're
Right.
not.
And if it fits into the storyline, it shouldn't be really a problem. So.
I mean, if there's one thing I guess we can be thankful for with Seth MacFarlane, I really have the strong feeling he does not like modern Star Trek. And doing the Orville was doing a slap in the face to him.
Well, I mean, let's face it. New Orville was more Star Trek than current Star Trek. I've said it. Many others have said it.
Mm-hmm. However you feel about Seth MacFarlane, and my brother had a good experience with him when we were at the convention, the Star Wars convention, and the Family Guy was there, and he asked him a question, and he says, "Oh, I thought I was the one who was drunk." Like, he can be very funny, Seth. But he answered the question, like, about Fox taking Family Guy off the air at the time, because this is 2008, so they were but he gave a good answer. And yeah, I think with Seth, he's somebody you could talk to him about a lot of pop culture, but his politics, that's another story. But I will say he's not an idiot. It's just I really wish he would just take some of his politics out, because he has done some good stuff. I tell you guys, Ted was a very funny movie. The first one, Ted 2, Ted 2 has problems. What was it? A Million Ways to Die in the West was actually a pretty funny movie. It wasn't bad. So he can do some really good stuff, but Seth can also be a pinhead too. So it's flip the coin.
Can be.
And Spock
Yeah,
is right.
I'm trying to be somewhat nice, Baron. Yeah.
Spock is right. Not everything needs to be comedy.
No,
but
it doesn't.
When it comes to the Orville, and the guy writing it writes for Family Guy, and that was one of the things that Fox said to Seth MacFarlane when he pitches the Orville. Well, can you make it a little bit more like Family Guy with the comedy? And they found a good balance, especially in season 2. They found a good balance to add comedy and drama. Just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I mean, when they started moving the Orville around after season 1 or during season 1, and they started moving in a few days, that's when I was like, I just stopped watching it. But I mean, I would be willing to start it over again and give it a chance. I would. It's not a problem. So.
I mean, you can't tell me that seeing Bortus come onto the bridge and he's got to fire up his mustache isn't funny. Or when he and Clyden were smoking cigarettes. I could see that. I could see that.
But I do know Orville isn't just comedy. Like, there's actually serious moments there, which is important for anything that is a successor, excuse me, to Star Trek, or even a tribute to it.
Season 1, it had about a girl. Clyden and Bortus, they have a child. And she's a girl. Well, Moclan society is all males. Females are forbidden. And against the wishes of Bortus, Clyden changes Topa's sex from female to male. And then, of course, in season 3, it's reversed. Yes, another spoiler.
Doesn't matter.
What?
And Spock says, I get where you're coming from, Mike. I personally like that they're daring enough, though, to make just drama too. Way better drama in season 3 than any new Trek show. Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And the Padawannabe says, I know many don't really like a ton of comedy in Star Trek. That's why I liked Galaxy Quest. The Orville,
Underrated.
and even Star Trek Lower Decks, I got my comedy with my Trek fix. Lower
Well,
Decks, I don't.
no, not Lower Decks, but Galaxy Quest definitely, and really, Galaxy Quest isn't really that underrated because
You don't think so?
it's
I
been
just don't think always that many
people
people
have
know about it.
well, when it comes around to when people ask, our Star Trek fans are asked what they think are the best Star Trek films, Galaxy Quest somehow worms its way into several of them. And that's how close that they feel that is a Star Trek type movie or a Star Trek movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
all right.
and if and that's where I think Seth MacFarlane needed to do a little bit more with, because let's face it, I don't mean to be cast our things, especially because it is, and I do like it too. It's Next Generation, but they always seem to have sticks up their asses throughout the entire show. That's why where you have the quote unquote humor with the Orville, it's more natural, more relaxed, but still professional, right? So you could, it's like the original Star Trek where they bust loose on the show. Scotty, and Kirk is Kirk, Spock and McCoy. But they're not going around with a stick up their ass. Not even Mr. Spock, because he's mischievous in his own ways. So that feel from the original series mixed with the Next Generation, I think it does have that balance. You need to have that humor in there. Why? If you keep it realistic, it feels natural. If it feels natural, you're sucked in. And Seth MacFarlane should not get too damn full of himself, which I know easier said than done with him. But to remember, you need to have the humor as well as the show. You can have one that's heavy with the drama and seriousness, but still have some moments of levity, because that's life, right? Even in some of the darkest times,
you need levity.
Right. So, with that, I think, if they're going to do something more with the Orville, I think that's what Seth, if he would listen, should go that way with it. So, we'll have to see if there's even going to be any more Orville, for one, and second of all, which direction to go with it. And third, what is Seth MacFarlane going to do? Because he took a wonderful show like Family Guy, which was just, let's admit it, when the show came out, it was just insane stupidity, and I mean that in a good way. A good way. But then as the show went along, getting canceled, coming back, type of thing, Seth started getting his ego, especially when he started to do the American Dad series.
Well,
and he
American
told us,
Dad, the Cleveland Show, and
the Cleveland show. The Cleveland show was funny. I stopped watching American Dad because I got tired of Roger. I'm sure people will want to throw something at me, but I just got tired of Roger personally.
Well, yeah, the alien Paul Lynn. But the thing is in some ways we got told the bill of goods with that, because Seth MacFarlane was saying he's going to keep Family Guy the stupidity and American Dad more the political. When it really turned the other way around. For some reason, he turned Family Guy into the political one, and he kept the stupidity in the American Dad. It's like, excuse me, you did a major reversal here, and for the wrong.
Yep. I mean, it's just the same thing with Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty changed to what it was before, and that was a problem. It got way too weird. The last season that I watched started getting really weird, where you had clones having sex with each other in an episode, and you're like, this is taking it too far, guys. Like, this is too much. This is too much. Yeah. this is where these shows just start going off the rails, and sometimes in a bad way. So yeah.
I think if there is a season 4, keyword if there is a season 4, if it actually is going into production in January, I think there are things they could tie up, things they could expand upon, and things that they can leave perfectly alone. It's like, okay, we've done that story. We don't need to do that story anymore because we gave it a bookend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys if you do get a season 4 of the Orville and you guys enjoyed it a lot, especially some people in the chat, people have issues with it, other people not as much, but then I hope it gives you the satisfaction that you guys deserve.
Cash,
yeah.
Those people that didn't like it, well, they never lived by the motto of never give up, never surrender. That's got to be a watch party one of these days. And good to see Big Daddy T-Gap. Big Daddy T-Gap Steve, everybody. Says best line in American Dad was when Francine told Steve that she would shove him back up her clown hole, rebirth him, and name him my bitch. It's right up there with best verbal burns ever. Yeah. Spock says it would be nice to visit Earth some more Earthbound alien crimes could be cool. Yeah, it could be. Mm-hmm. And Gordon could develop a romantic interest with that girl from the 21st century social likes planet. He could, or, he could somehow meet a descendant. I mean, this is an idea I threw out, a descendant of Laura, who he fell in love with via her text messages and pictures on her cell phone. And then they had an episode in season 3 where he went back in time and, well, I'm not going to spoil the rest. No, I'm not spoiling the rest. And Retro Gamer Yazuki says, Galaxy Quest for the win.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
You will save us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a good movie. It's what I enjoy. So
it is, man. It's a very good film.
Mm-hmm.
Quality cast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would, because I was thinking, how could they continue the Laura Gordon Malloy relationship? Well, why not have it be a descendant? This way, he's not contaminating the timeline in any way, and he's meeting someone who may not be Laura, but she's a descendant who looks like Laura, and maybe they can still develop common interests. It was just an idea I have. Hey, Seth, if you like it, let me know. I'm easy to reach.
No, you're not. I call you at 2:00 in the morning. You never pick up.
Well, it's true because it's you, Baron.
Well, I got contacts. I have contacts. I have sources that have sources that know people inside that have sources. So I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. I'm just a dude playing a dude, and all that.
Very interesting, but stupid.
Yeah.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
I knew that would be your favorite clip. That's why you uploaded it, isn't it?
Are you sure that's my favorite one? I'm holding off. Well, hey, The Hell You See is still my favorite.
Yeah, why not? But speaking of Star Trek in particular, we do have some sad news, and that was that actress Patty Yasutake has passed away. She was known for Beef, but for Star Trek fans, she was known as Nurse Ogawa. Alyssa Ogawa, to be exact, who began her Next Generation appearances as a guest star in season 4 of Next Generation, and she appeared through the remaining seasons all the way up to season 7, and also in Generations and First Contact. Well, unfortunately, she has passed away due to cancer. This is by Nellie Anderson. It was actually posted on Deadline's site yesterday. It says Patty Yasutake, best known for her roles in Beef and Star Trek The Next Generation, passed away peacefully on August 5th, surrounded by friends and family after a long battle with cancer. Her manager and friend, Kyle Fritz, told Deadline she was 70. Los Angeles native Yasutake, born and raised in Gardenia and Inglewood, graduated from UCLA with honors in theater. She started her career at East West Players, where she worked with the company's co-founder, Japanese-American acting icon Mako, for 6 years on stage, on staff, and on board, performing in over a dozen shows. Yasutake made her feature debut in Ron Howard's 1986 comedy Gun Ho as Yumiki, a relocated Japanese wife earnestly trying to Americanize. She reprised her character in the follow-up ABC comedy series spawned by the movie. For her next movie, the 1988 The Wash, Yasutake received an Independent Spirit Award Supporting Actress nomination. Her resume also includes films Drop Dead Gorgeous, Blind Spot, The Road to Galveston, and a slew of guest starring appearances on such series as The Closer, Grey's Anatomy, Bones, Flash Forward, The Unit, and Cold Case. Yasutake's last TV role before her death was one of the highest profiled ones in her career. She was a series regular on Netflix acclaimed limited series Beef, playing George's mother, Fumi Anaki. She also played Nurse Alyssa Ogawa on Star Trek The Next Generation, a role she later reprised in Star Trek Generations and also Star Trek First Contact.
Hey, at least she dodged the Nemesis bullet on that one.
Yeah.
Whew. And even Insurrection.
Mm-hmm. Spanning 3 decades, Yasutake's theater work included stints at New Mexico Repertory Theater, American Southwest Theater, Los Angeles Theater Center, San Diego Repertory Theater, Manhattan Theater Club, South Coast Repertory Theater, and Westwood Playhouse, now the Geffen Playhouse. As a theater director, she developed and staged world premieres at East West Players, and that was for Dobal, the Richard Shepard Theater, the Single Man, and Ensemble Studio Theater, Father, I Must Have Rice, along with a revival of Tea at the Odyssey Theater. Patty was my first client when I began over 30 years ago, Fritz said. We enjoyed every day we got to work together, and I will miss her spirit, talent, and tenacity, but most of all, her friendship. Yasutake was preceded in death by her parents, Michael and Jean Yasutake, and her sister, business executive Irene Harino Inu. I think that's how you pronounce it. She is survived by siblings Linda Hayashi and Steve Yasutake. A large extended family of nephews and nieces, and families of friends and colleagues, including Fritz and Jonathan Del Arco. Jonathan Del Arco played Hugh on Star Trek The Next Generation, and he reprised the role for Star Trek Picard. A memorial will be held at East West Players August 25th from 1 to 3 p.m. In lieu of flowers, the family requests that a contribution be made to the theater company. May she rest in peace. And on behalf of all of us here at Pacific414 and Pacific414 Pop Talk, we send our condolences to the Yasutake family on the loss of their aunt, their sister, their friend, and also someone who I like seeing when she showed up on Next Generation.
Well, that's not my point. If there's one thing I have a problem with Patty, is that they did not use her more. They should have used her more in that show. She was a great side character. What I mean that is, obviously she's more not one of the main cast, but that's the only problem. It's like they underused her, and she should have been in there before fourth season.
Yeah.
It's great with these characters. It's like Kyle in the original series, or some of the others where, they're not very prominent, but they do have like them. You see them. They have names. They have some lines, and even made it into one of the movies with Kyle, particularly. So
yeah, I mean, when you see someone like Reginald Barkley show up in an episode of Next Generation, you're wondering, what's this episode going to involve, and how's he going to play a part of it? When you see Alyssa, and you got to learn about her very little.
Right.
But you're wondering, okay, tell us more about Nurse Ogawa. What did she like to do? We knew that she was married because when, gosh, what episode was it? There's an episode where everybody's having old injuries that are healing themselves. And, at one point, Geordi's vision regenerates. And you have Nurse Ogawa go into sickbay because she lost her baby. I'm trying to remember the name of the episode, but I believe it was the 7th season, 6th or 7th season. So you knew she was married, and of course, she was actually one of the main characters for the episode Lower Decks. Because, in that episode, you have these ensigns who are all trying to prove themselves in their different departments so they can be recommended for a promotion. And it's good to see Leia Rose. Always nice to see Leia Rose pop by. Hope you're doing well tonight, Leia. And let's see. Spock says, Reginald Barkley episode. Oh, great. I wonder how they'll incorporate hollow addiction this time. Yeah, that was the thing about old broccoli. But yes, again, our condolences to the Yasutake family and Patty Yasutake's family and friends. She will be greatly missed.
Yep.
It sucks when we lose someone that we like seeing on Next Generation. Like you said, Baron, they should have utilized her character more.
Yep. Wait a moment. Whoa. She was an Asian woman who was a doctor of a high position. We never had any of that back then. What am I talking about?
I mean, even as a nurse, she was on the flagship of the Federation.
Yeah, I know.
How many, Starfleet medical students wanted that position to be on the flagship?
Right. I mean, but the thing is how we're told that we never had people like this in science fiction, in fantasy. It's an insult to her because just like, here she's an Asian Japanese American woman who is on a high position on board the Enterprise, because you have to be darn good to be there, unless you're Wesley. And with that, just ignore her completely. It's an insult, because she was more she was a background, but still part of the team, and we cared about her and we liked her, and we liked seeing these people because it gave us a sense of what would you call that? It's like when you go to work, someone's going to be there. Family.
You see a family member, you see a coworker. It's that camaraderie. It's like, oh, good. Alyssa's in this episode.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that we didn't know that much about her, well, that's understandable. How many things do we know about people we work with? We just sometimes just know them from work. We see them outside of work one time. It's like, wow, completely different. And it's like, I didn't know you had 3 wives. So, yeah, again, a strong female character that we never had.
Well, according to modern day, we never had it.
Yeah.
But we have. All you have to do is look at series from the 1970s, 1980s, heck, even the 1950s. They still had some strong characters. I Love Lucy. Yeah, she was goofy, but she was still a strong character. The show was about Lucy. Wasn't about Ricky. Wasn't about Fred. Wasn't about Ethel. It was about Lucy.
Right. A redheaded Irish girl. But take a look at Ricky Ricardo. I mean, if you want to sit back and say that was a bit of a mixed marriage, because Desi Arnaz came from Cuba.
He did.
Came up here. He made good. He was one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, alongside Lucille Ball.
He's also the reasons why we had a 3-camera TV show. There was, I remember my professor telling me about that. It's very interesting. It was like revolutionary at the time.
It was, and and that's just it. It's like, don't tell me you didn't appreciate people of Hispanic origins. Desi Arnaz, right there. We love Lucy, but we love Desi too. But the show was about Lucille Ball. Well, of course, Miss Brooks, Eve Arden, same thing there. Who got the most playtime on Burns and Allen? Well, Gracie. Gracie did, because she was so good.
Right. Did you guys also know that Lucille Ball had to have lines taped to the back of the furniture because she would forget them? That was very interesting too. I found that out.
I believe it. It happens.
Well, I mean, think about it. Here she is. She's running Desi Lou Studios, and she's still acting at the time too. So she's got a lot on her plate. So taking time to memorize lines, that had to take a good amount of her day too. And you can't remember everything that's on that script.
Right. Well, I mean, back then you didn't have 8, 10, or even 24 episodes a season. Sometimes you had close to the full year with little breaks here and there. You're looking at 35, 36, 37, 40 episodes a year. And, just take a look at the season count, the episode count for season 1 of next year of the original Star Trek. That there shows you.
Yep.
So
29 episodes, I believe. I'll look it up.
But the one thing also that I Love Lucy did, they gave us the rerun.
They did.
Right. I mean, all that was so, I Love Lucy. What Desi and Lucy did was revolutionary. And when they had the reruns, they were just as popular as the first time they were aired.
I mean, you could still find reruns of I Love Lucy and sit down and laugh. And let's also not forget, I know it's already been mentioned many times before on other channels too. Without Lucille Ball, we don't get Star Trek. She backed it. Yeah. The original series had 29 episodes.
Yep.
In the first season. You add 50 more between the second and third season, and there you get the 79 episodes.
Yep. That's why 3 years had so many episodes. Excuse me.
So, Cash, I thought maybe you'd want to read our next story since you're more familiar with the show than Bear and myself. I did put the link to it in the private chat for you.
I just wanted to forget about the show, but sure.
Oh, come on. You're the biggest for that show.
Yeah, right.
You say it's even better than
Spock. No, Spock didn't watch that show, but Crit, I, and Phil all watched the show of Ted Lasso, and the first 2 seasons, even though they went political more in the second season, was still good. The third season, they dropped the ball with a lot of things, including who Ted Lasso got to be with. So there was also some weird lesbian relationship, which we knew the character Keeley was actually bi, but the relationship felt so forced and stupid that it was just embarrassing. But yeah. Okay, so we got an article here. Let me post it in the present.
No, I'll go ahead and share it,
right.
and I'll just go along as you read it.
Okay, so we got some crap to talk about Ted Lasso here. As I said, if you're gonna watch the show,
the enthusiasm there, and you hear it.
No, if you're gonna watch the show, I would recommend watching season 1 and 2 and forget about 3.
Okay.
I really would. So we got an article here from CBR. No, I don't care about the author's name. After
wow.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Right.
Yeah, wow. Usually I try to read the author's name to give the credit.
Yeah, the byline. Come on, man.
Yeah,
didn't your dad teach you anything?
She can suck it, man. You heard me, Baron. She can suck it. Anyways.
Wow. You know what? I think Jace is kind of rubbing off on him.
The byline is by Charlene Bassite.
Bassite, yes. Charlene Bassite, yes. I guess we'll say her name. But anyways, so after Ted Lasso aired the final episode of its 3rd season in May 2023, fans have been hoping for news about new episodes. While nothing has officially been confirmed, actor Mohammed Hashim says a 4th installment. What?
I said, bless you.
Oh, okay.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, if when you're reading these articles, if you don't know these names, Google can help you with stuff. But anyways, says a 4th installment might still be in the cards. Oh boy. Okay, so since Mike brought this to my attention, okay, what happens with Ted Lasso in season 3? Crit and I and Phil were all like, what the hell? Because he didn't end up with this woman, Rebecca, who's the blonde lady who owns the team. Her story and the man that she ends up with doesn't make any sense, because the way that they were connecting the dots, she should have ended up with Ted Lasso. But, you know, Ted Lasso decided, spoiler alert, to go back with his wife and basically be a cuck. I hate to say it, but that's basically what happened. The 3 of us didn't understand this, and I know other fans were confused about this as well. But anyways, speaking to the direct, Hamish, who had a reoccurring role as a Swiss midfielder, Mo Bumbercatch, in the series, said definitely, said he definitely doesn't think this is the end of Ted Lasso. However, he's heard so many things, and that at this point in time, he doesn't even know what to believe. Oh no. If the series doesn't make a comeback, the actor says, it could be in 20 years' time. Okay. In August 2023, director Declan Lowy suggested that Ted Lasso was over for now. He also admitted that it felt like the show was ending during filming. Everyone knew it was the end, but it's also the end for now, he said. It's going to be 2 or 3 years before anything happens. If anything happened, so let's try and tie up all these stories properly.
Huh?
Yeah.
That sounded like word salad.
Yeah, that's word salad. This is what fans hate, guys, okay? They hate all this word salad. Just be clear about this. We're not sure that this show is happening.
We're not sure at this time that we're going to have a fourth season.
That's right.
If we don't have a fourth season, we're going to make sure that this current season we're in is the best that you're going to get.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think we found one of Kamala's speechwriters.
Right. Ted Lasso has been a massive hit for Apple TV Plus. Yeah, except the third season. I've been trying to remember how the script was delivered because I've been, oh my God, all this fucking word salad all the time. I've been feeling I might have gotten a big chunk of it, and then there'd be more coming, but I didn't know how much more yet, Lowy continued. I was like, there's a lot of typing up to do. And then Jason Sudeikis gave me the remaining pages, and it was like, that's what he's doing here. My gosh, dude. What the? Okay.
You did this just to fluster him, didn't you, Mike?
I figured since he knows more about the show than I do, he could read the article.
Yeah.
Despite the series ending over a year ago, Ted Lasso has been breaking records for Apple TV Plus. In January 2024, Nielsen streaming data revealed that the sports comedy drama was the most watched original series of 2023, with over 16.9 billion minutes viewed. Jeez. The series beat out shows from other streaming platforms such as The Night Agent, Guinea and Georgia, Virgin River, and Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, which I still need to watch. That's the one on Amazon, right? Yeah, that's the one on Amazon.
Yeah.
With
the guy from The Office.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. John Krasinski. Yeah. Created by Jason Sudeikis, Bill Lawrence, Brenda Hunt, and Joe Kelly, the series tells the story of an American college football coach, Ted Lasso Sudeikis, who is hired to work with an English soccer team called AFC Richmond. The team's owner, Rebecca Welton, secretly hopes Lasso's inexperience will cause them to fail. However, his folky optimism and unique leadership style led to unexpected success. Unexpected success. All right.
Wow. That sounds like the plot line of Major League.
Right? Yeah, I know where you're going with that. So just so you guys know, Ted Lasso, of course, like they said, he's quirky. Rebecca wants to bring him in. I know, I get it. Because of you bring in a bad team, so you want them to fail so you can sell the team. I see where you're going with that, Mike. That's a good point. So in this, it's a soccer team, and Rebecca wants him to fail. But the difference is Rebecca learns to like Ted Lasso, and they start building this relationship. And that's why I think at the end of season 3, they should have ended up together. But no, the writers of season 3 felt, oh, no, we can't do that. It was a very big missed opportunity, in my opinion. The series became an instant hit following its debut. Season 1 earned nominations for 20 Primetime Emmy Awards, with Sudeikis and his co-star Hannah Wagingham and Brett Goldstein taking home trophies for their performances. Sudeikis also won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Television Series Musical or Comedy and the Screen Actors Award in the same category. All 3 seasons of Ted Lasso are available to stream on Apple TV Plus. Oh, but there's other places that they're available too, but we'll just leave it for that. We'll let you guys find that out if you want for yourself.
Yo ho, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Arr!
Yes, you can find some good stuff on Apple TV Plus, guys, but there's also stuff on there that, you don't have to care about. But yeah. Apple TV Plus does have good content. Now, it's another streaming service. Streaming services, man. There's too many of them still.
Far too many of them.
There's too many of them. But I swear Mike gave me that article just so I could turn into the Hulk. But I have a lot of mixed feelings about this show, just like Phil and Crit, because just missed opportunities. And you are right, Mike. If you spin it around, it's that you're looking at a major league plot to some extent with soccer. But the difference is that Rebecca actually ends up liking Ted.
Unlike Rachel, who hates
Right.
the team and wants to move them
Right.
down to Florida.
You got it, man. Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like when Wild Thing Bond comes up. I hate that song.
I hate that fucking song. Yeah. Oh man, yes.
But of course, some of the great parts was Corbin Burnson as Dorn.
Dorn,
saying,
dude. Yeah.
I have it in my
It's
contract.
in my contract.
I do not have to do this. And then Brown
I know.
pisses out its contract.
Yeah, that's when bathroom humor works. Those kind of scenes right there. Mm-hmm. Yes,
but the film was rated R too.
It is,
so they could get away with it. Now, Major League 2, that was PG-13.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but it was not as good as the first one. The first one's still the best.
You have no
cojones. Yeah,
no
you have no
marbles.
Balls.
You got no marbles.
That's right,
Huevos.
Marbles. Yeah, balls. Yeah, I know.
No, it's kind of interesting because I was watching. I think it was Sky News was showing the segment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where they were talking about Vince Vaughn and how you can't. No, it was on Gutfeld yesterday because it was part of the panel. Nice. And they were talking about that. Vince wasn't on the show, but they were showing a clip from an interview about why you can't do R-rated films and they can't be funny no more.
Right.
The one guy that's on the panel, he starts saying, we were just all sitting around talking about, these films like Hot Tub, Time Machine, and this. He goes, and I go back all the way to Airplane, and we all were saying, we can't do that anymore. And it's like, why? Right. But he kept on calling it an R-rated film. The funny thing is, Airplane
isn't an R-rated film.
And I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Hashim. I want to make sure I was saying that right. Hashim.
Well, let's not forget. What was considered PG back when Airplane came out isn't considered PG now.
Look, no, exactly. It's just they don't. A lot of these comedies fall flat because they're like, oh, did you guys see all the bathroom humor? Oh, it's so funny, ha ha ha. But they forget about all these different situations where a gay person says something to a straight person says something back to the gay person says something back to the straight person, like they did in some of these movies. I'm thinking I can't think of the movie. It'll hit me. I Love You, Man. There we go. I Love You, Man, because they had like gay characters in that. And it was very funny. And Paul Rudd does these funny movies, but they have a good heart to it. It has a good story. You got Lou Ferrigno in it. I mean, and he was funny as the Hulk. And he's like, oh, hey, Hulk, you better calm down. You better calm down, Hulk. He's like, I don't appreciate you saying that about me. It was just funny. Like these situations are funny. And then he put him in a headlock, and then they made up, and it was just nice. But they don't care about these things anymore because this is offensive, and this is offensive to so many people. It's crazy. We got to get away from that. Comedy can be offensive and be funny at the same time, and it doesn't just have to be bathroom humor. Just to throw in bathroom humor, isn't that funny? Ha ha ha. Yeah.
I mean, bathroom humor is not bad if it's applied correctly.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because it's that uncomfortableness.
Right.
But to use it as a crutch is a different matter. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Ted Lasso, I can tell you guys, has a lot of potential. And if you want to see, sports, and it's more than that, there's drama, there's moments, because he does deal with mental problems, which is very interesting in the show. But when they get to the third season, things start falling apart, and you can tell that they change writers. Same thing with Family Guy, same with these other shows. You can just tell things start falling apart because they've got different writers there. So, and they want this and they want this and they change this, and you're like, you guys are keep missing the opportunities. Like we were talking about old shows like Newhart. That show was always funny and had good moments. You talk about shows like Bosom Buddies, Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There's heart. There's funny moments. There's serious moments. That's what even these sitcoms can be, or dramas, or whatever you want. It's just all these missed opportunities, guys, all the time. So it's really unfortunate. I always say that. It's very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, people don't know what we had because they're stupid.
Right. I agree.
I'm serious.
I agree, man. I agree. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, we take a show even like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and then in the live action, they have poop jokes in it. You're like, no, that's not ever what Alvin and the Chipmunks were, or even one or two. Same with the Smurfs. However you feel about these shows, you guys, this is why the writers, this is why when you're talking to someone outside from Amazon or something, and they say, I don't understand what the fans want. Once again, did you ask the fans what they want? The fan base that have enjoyed these projects, or even something new. Hey guys, this is what we're thinking about doing. Okay, well, let's build on this. And as I said, Baron, they are so worried about failing or being a failure. It's like, dude, you guys can fail, but something else can come out of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's just it. And Vince was talking about that. Is you need to take risks, and just because one of your risks failed should not be an ending of your career. You took a risk. It didn't work out, but you still have, you have something to base a career off of. One mishap, so what? You can't always have hits. You can't always have the greatest.
Exactly. And you can't. You just can't.
And now, what do you think? You've had 12 great films with us, blockbusters, but this film did bad. Okay, we don't need you no more.
Exactly.
Idiots.
And yeah, like I said, and I'm sure even Phil in the chat would admit this, that there's a lot to like about Ted Lasso. There really is. Especially season 1 is the best, I would say. Season 2 was still good, but season 3 falls flat, and we've seen this with other shows. It's not just shows like Ted Lasso, but
well, you and I recently saw a new show. We watched all 10 episodes of this.
We did.
And I know some people may like Cape Crusader. I thought it was mediocre.
Me too.
After watching all 10 episodes, I thought it was mediocre. Now, I will say, the last 3 episodes should have been the first 3 episodes.
Exactly.
Well, it just shows people don't know.
Right. And it's just like, I would love to sit down with Bruce Timm and even J.J. Abrams. It's like, you guys still understand what this show is supposed to be. And if you want to push boundaries, especially one that takes place in the 1940s, you can push boundaries, but you guys also are in some fake utopia, because I'm sorry I hate to break this to you, but 2 women even kissing in a restaurant, people would raise eyebrows.
People would have said something back then.
Just saying, that's just reality. Yes.
They may not have said it out loud, but you would have heard the whispers. Did you see that? Did you see what those 2 women did?
What?
Yeah.
And again, one of my problems with the show is their lighting choices, their shading choices.
Yes.
All the characters who are white, they're always in the light, but you get a dark character, someone of a different ethnicity, they're always in the dark. And even when you have scenes where you got a window open and the sunlight should be shining right on the character from the angle where they're sitting or standing, they're still in the dark. What? Who animates like that?
Yep.
It's like Cash and I went back, watched the animated series, and watched Batman, the Bold and the Brave.
Yes.
They had better decisions when it came to their lighting and shading than Cape Crusader did. And
did.
the stories were more interesting for those shows than they were for Cape Crusader. I'm sorry, Cash. I was bored watching that Catwoman episode.
I know, man. That episode was boring. And this whole thing about, like, I don't know if there's something in the comics about that. I'd have to go look into that. But she's, like, rich, and then she goes broke, and then, you know, she has to steal. Like, it just... And then the way that episode ended, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Catwoman story should
I am keeping an eye on it.
Yeah,
it's supposed to actually come near our area late tomorrow night into Friday morning. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, you know, all I gotta sit back and see is it was nice doing you, Mike.
Shut up, Aaron.
Oh man.
Just trying
and hello, the Ghost Rider. Good to see you. Oh, please. You're thinking, come on. I want the show. I want the show to be mine.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope you have a nice rest.
Yeah, seriously.
It's probably my docile tones. You can sleep, stuff up your pillow, masturbate to your waifu pillow. You know, that good stuff there. Just sit back and relax and enjoy. Because, you know, it's our specialty. It's our specialty. So
we appreciate the haters. It's all good, man.
I don't. And all I just gotta say is
you can't please everybody.
Nope.
No, and I just gotta sit back and say, just remember, don't sneeze when you're giving a blowjob. That's all I gotta say. So.
God.
What? I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying to be diplomatic. I'm trying not to be rude. I'm just giving helpful advice. Helpful advice. That's all.
That's great.
That's all. Because, you know, I'm a great guy.
Well, I'm sorry you don't like it, Gabriel Discordia, but, you know, not every live stream's going to be a hit with everyone.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, actually, to be honest with you, it's never a hit for me. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hello, Ghost. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cash and I watched all 10 episodes of Cape Crusader. It's mediocre. No, I wanted to watch the rest of the episodes that were on there, so I had full context. So I didn't just go by what I saw in the first 2 episodes and start speaking out of my ass.
Yep.
Well, let's face it, this was you.
I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain.
It wasn't that bad, but it was. There were times.
Was
that
it?
were like, yeah, I mean, there was even an episode that it was like a wannabe Wednesday. I swear it was. It was ridiculous.
It stinks.
Ghost Rider, you're 100% right. Even hater interaction is interaction.
Yeah, it is.
So, Gabriel, thank you for stopping by. Sorry we're not your cup of tea, but that's all right. I'm sure you'll find someone who is.
Or you're just trolling and being stupid, so whatever. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Mike Zero's got a new video out. Have fun.
That's right.
That's all I can say.
I wouldn't say suffering.
I made the choice to do it.
I wouldn't say it was suffering. It was just like we wanted to see if, Bruce Timm was involved. We said, we'll go watch all the episodes. And I don't know, from the ghost guy to the certain things, just things were out of place, bad lighting, little details that should have mattered. The music, I felt, could have been better. Yeah.
The music could have been better. The animation could have been better. The voice acting could have been better.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, it's pretty sad when the last 3 episodes are the more interesting of the entire season. That's not good if you go 3 for 7, with 3 being good and the 7 being times you struck out or made it out in general.
Yeah.
Then the show shouldn't have been. You should have rated the show lower than that. I mean, really 5 out of 10.
Well,
when
5
you
out
have,
of 10 because especially the last 3 episodes. Because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best thing
The last 3 episodes are what made it go up for me.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
was
okay,
Dietrich
this is
Baker.
interesting.
Yeah, we're just so fired up about certain things today, but really, it's just
I'm glad somebody is.
we want, yeah, right. We just wanted probably the Cape Crusader to be better, and we wanted the Cape Crusader to be a better show. And I get it, IMDb, it's like 7.4, and for all the critics out there, the IGN and stuff, it's like a 8 or a 9 or whatever for them. But I'm sure it checks certain boxes that they like. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it could have been a better show for the fans. It really could have been. And
well, I mean, at least it rose up high and above Rebel Moon 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, as I've said before too,
you're just
as I've
chat,
said
dude.
before, when Batman the Animated Series set the bar so high,
it did.
And yes, I do understand that its first season had 50 episodes, and Cape Crusader only has 10. But when
should have had 20, I agree with Spock.
The animated series set the bar so high for every following series to live up to, and it doesn't live up to it, and it's 10 episodes.
Yep.
Where in the first episode of Batman the Animated Series, they get you hooked.
Yep. Catwoman doesn't ever whip. Bullock, I was like, I know he plays loosely with the law, but I didn't like he was basically like a on the mob payroll. Yeah, we'll go with that. I didn't really like that personally. So.
No, and Ghost Rider's right. Since when do critics know good entertainment? And TGAB says, did they keep Catwoman's origin as a hooker? Nope, she's a snooty rich girl. Spoiler, by the way.
Well, how apt, because really, snooty rich girl with cats and child, no children. Yeah, I can see that. But
well, it was just weird. Of course, she had.
I just have to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just have to say this, though. It's like, I am glad we had some haters, because I'm really, really tired of just having all you guys kissing our asses out there. It's nice to have a hater come in. So. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Back to you, Cash.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did the views just dropped?
But
I'm not worried about that, Eric.
Yeah,
I know. I'm kidding. I'm being a smart ass about me. Yeah.
No, it's the thing. The show could have just been so much better. Like, I can't. It was funny because Mike's like, "Look, I know I'm being very critical about the show, and I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, be as critical as you want. We have the words on the screen.
Because
we can figure out what the hell's going on."
some of my snarky remarks I was making while watching it was taking you out of it. That's why I was apologizing.
No, I felt the same way about it. It's just I can't. Hamish was just, he's actually a good actor, but with this, it needs more time to cook in the oven, I would say. It's just, people need to understand that when you're Bruce Wayne and Batman, there needs to be a difference. Say what you want about people like Christian Bale and whatever, but when he was Bruce Wayne, he had a lighter tone than when he was Batman. Even when it's, but still, it was still effective. It was still effective, whatever they did. So, what Nolan did and the other people did, it was effective.
And to follow up on what Padawannabe is saying here, I am playing Arkham City. I'm having fun playing Arkham City again.
Yeah, fantastic.
Considering it's been a long time, and the Arkham games are a nice palate cleanser after watching Cape Crusader.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's not that the show is bad, but you can't, even other YouTubers, you can't blame them for being like, okay, we're in the 1940s, but Gordon and Barbara are black. Like, this doesn't make, the reason people ask these questions is because it's the 1940s. It doesn't make sense to the time period. And people, and when people want to call people other names for that, they're just being honest. How could this make sense? And this is why people get mad about Star Wars and Star Trek and where things are going in other shows, because when it doesn't make logical sense, why are you defending it? It's crazy, but whatever.
Yeah, why? Stop it,
Right.
Cash.
Right.
Well, just like people defend the MCU in its current direction or Star Wars in its direction, because for some people they do enjoy it. I'm sure there are some people who enjoy the Cape Crusader.
Yeah, which is fine, and I get it. In IMDb, I guess it's probably going to get a second season because it is at like 7.4 out of 10. So people thought it was a good show, but I can't feel that way. Mike can't feel that way. I'm sure there's a lot of other people who can't feel that way. That's why it's going to be mixed for people because they have seen the bar high and they want the bar to be, it doesn't have to be super high, but it could be pretty high.
Well,
I'm
when you
high.
have engaging stories like you had in the animated series,
Right.
where you were interested to see how a single episode would end or the multi-parters that they had would end, and you're invested each and every day to turn on your TV, even if in my case I was doing the homework, I still had the series on in the background so I could listen to what's going on.
Yep. Just everything was building, but with this being only 10 episodes, things felt rushed. Even when we had Clayface, they did a better job with Clayface in the animated series than they did in this show. It was like, oh, that's Clayface? I thought it was Scarecrow. I mean, I'm sure Mike felt the same way. It's like, isn't that Scarecrow?
Well, that's
it's
what he looked like
Clayface?
when we first saw him.
Exactly.
He looked like Scarecrow.
Yep.
No, I'm scared.
And we both thought it was Scarecrow at first, and then we started seeing more and more hints. No, this is Clayface. Because
like,
remember, as we're watching, I'm going, no, this is Clayface.
Yep. Some of the new villains, like the I don't know, well, just the guy on the horse and the ghost thing was just kind of, that episode was kind of boring. Maybe more than kind of, but it was just boring. I don't know. It's just,
I wasn't invested in that episode.
No, I wasn't either.
I was sitting there, Cash, and I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking, okay, these episodes are 20 minutes long.
Right.
But this episode felt like it was going on for an hour.
Yeah, or 26 or something. Yeah, I know. It's just like, we've seen all these clever villains that they put in the animated series, and even Batman Beyond had some really cool villains. Even when they brought back the Joker, the way they did it was really cool. But yeah, Cape Crusader could have been so much better, in my opinion. There was just things that were rushed. The lighting was bad, and like people say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. You're just, why are you upset about that? Why does it matter?" It matters because little details should always matter to people.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
Never gets old. But I'm not saying Baron. Like, if you want to try it, go ahead, man.
Yeah, try it.
It's not crap. I will say that.
This is what I'm going to say to everyone else. Yeah. Try it for yourself. Don't go by what we're saying. If you watch it and you like it, well, then good on you. We're just letting you know our experience from watching the series. And
exactly.
I didn't even find, the introduction of Harley Quinn all that interesting.
Me either. No.
One, it was done so much better in the animated series.
Yes.
And two, I know the character design between Harley Quinzel and Harley Quinn didn't seem to match. Just in my opinion.
We haven't played that one for a while.
Sure.
No. But we are going to move on to this story from Cosmic Book News. If you'd like to read it, Baron, go ahead. If you don't, I'll go ahead and read it.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to give a hint there, but
3 hours later.
Yeah, we're here. Okay. So, there's something in your nose there. Let's take care of that there. Okay. Okay, so this is from Cosmic Book News. Is byline by Matt Glowin. And it Well, it says 4 minutes ago. I doubt that. Marvel Studio fired woke producers after Phase Bore failure, claims rumor. So we have a source who has a source that's working in the studio who has a source. So, we're like
take
Robert
this with huge grains of salt, folks.
Yes, please do. Yeah. Because, you just might walk away saying this.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Or maybe...
That's right. I said, I ain't giving you no $350, you goddamn Loch Ness monster. Get your own goddamn money. I gave him a...
Why does it look like she's like trying to twerk while uber constipated? I don't know. Rumors say Kevin Feige has cleaned house and eliminated the activist creatives at Marvel. Just a second. I think this is kind of important to put in there.
I call bullshit.
A major rumor claims that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios have fired their incompetent woke creatives and producers following the massive failures of Phase 4. Now, it's known as of late the MCU movies have suffered their worst performances at the box office, which includes The Marvels, the lowest performing MCU and superhero movie of all times. Disney CEO Bob Iger was able to take a break from snorting blow off hookers' asses to give this confirmation that a $4 billion streaming loss, which among the MCU projects would include She-Hulk, Miss Marvel's Secret Invasion, and more X-Men 97 also failed to deliver. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, there, Padawannabe, but that's what they say. Not me.
We're not saying it there.
Yes, don't shoot the messenger. Don't put it down. Put it down. No, he's violent. As announced at Comic-Con, Marvel is bringing back the Russos and Robert Downey Jr. in a Hail Mary for the MCUs in an attempt to right the ship. The MCU has also finally found big success with the release of Deadpool and Wolverine. Disney Marvel's back, baby, 5 years after the release of Avengers Endgame. Ooh. So what does the rumor say? The rumor comes Film Threat founder Chris Gore, who recently appeared on the Critical Drinkers YouTube channel via That Park Place. They have cleaned house. Chris Gore claims to have been told by Marvel insiders that Feige and Marvel have cleaned house. I don't know people who work at Marvel. They have cleaned house, said Gore. They quietly, a month ago, fired all the producers that could be labeled activists. I like you, Chris Gore. I really do.
I call bullshit.
Wow, look at that. There's a... doesn't that look great? Not. Gore continues with mention of Lucasfilm. However, he claims Star Wars is a lost cause. No shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to play.
What the hell you say?
My favorite clip. Unlike Lucasfilm is lost. They're lost. They are doubling down on all the nonsense. You will never get anything good out of Lucasfilm and Star Wars. That's it, Gore says. And look at that. Doesn't that really inspire you to go see a movie? Right there. Doesn't that? She has no hips. No butt, no hips.
Maybe if they made the character likable and the actress actually put some emotion into it.
Yeah, I mean, the best you can say is that's all butt right there. But she has no butt. We tried it. It didn't work. Oh, wow. Did they try live cereal? Chris Gore continues and talks more about Kevin Feige and the MCU. Kevin Feige, or Feces, recognized basically Feige. He said that, okay, fine, Feige. I want to be nice. He said that we tried it. It didn't work, explained Gore. Gore continues. He's talking about Phase Boar. It didn't work. No Kang. None of these side characters that don't have the legacy of classic characters. And if Deadpool and Wolverine proves anything, you've heard that phrase, male is pale is stale. That was spoken aloud across studios. But if you look at the box office this year, I would say male and pale is money. And that's the phrase that I think people should more adopt. Excuse me. Yeah. Instilling confidence. Gore claims that Feige and Marvel, I still want to say Feige, have fired those creatives who aren't familiar with the comics. Recall how Marvel producer Nate Moore, who is responsible for butchering the Eternals, said he won't hire creatives who read comics. So we should call him Nate less. Moore is presently only listed on IMDb as producer on Captain America's Brave New World, which has undergone major rewrites and reshoots. As part of Marvel's upcoming slate, also recalls how the director of Secret Invasion stated he was specifically told not to read the comics. Marvel also hired those Rick and Morty writers.
Well, that's what they get for hiring writers from Rick and Morty who only write Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Yeah. Additionally, they fired people that don't know the comics. But it's going to be a sea change that will take years. Years, said Gore. That's why they are announcing this now. We know we screwed up and failed, but look at what's coming. So we're going to get 2 bad movies, 2 bad TV shows, and maybe a good Fantastic Four film. Don't hold your breath.
I'm not going to hold my breath on a good Fantastic Four film.
No.
I can watch Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. They're not great movies, but I can still watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other one, I saw the trailer and went, nope.
Why? I'd rather watch the Corman film. I really do.
I see where you're going.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of people sat back and said, even though it wasn't really the best acted and the special effects were very bland because of what they're doing with it, that was one of the most, what would you say, faithful adaptation of a fantastic film, of war, into a film. So, I mean, I'm not even saying that out of being cheeky. It's just, I've heard that a lot, and it'd be worth watching. Especially the fact that this was a total screw job that was done to everybody involved. The 2 mad movies Gore is likely referring to is Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts. What I find is interesting is that while at Comic-Con, the cast of both movies made them out to be jokes. The 2 bad TV shows are likely Agatha and Ironheart, probably a third with Wonder Man. Marvel insiders also filled me in that Feige was fixing the Daredevil Born Again series, which has been confirmed by the trades exactly as I said. So is he going to be doing more Walk of Shames?
I don't know.
I bet she is. Blade is also getting reworked, as insiders filled me in a plan at one time was to kill Blade and replace him with his daughter in the movie. Feige recently said they are
raising. You mean
Feige?
Sorry.
That was actually an honest slip. Because I've been calling his name all over the place. So
you heard nothing, YouTube. Nothing.
I heard nothing. Feige, there we go. Fergie recently said they are taking their time to get it right. Regarding Fantastic Four at Comic-Con.
A little spoiler. There's only one blade. There's only going to be one blade.
Yep.
Regarding Fantastic Four at Comic-Con, I was told by insiders it's also gotten reworked. I was also told the female Silver Surfer they are using in the film gets killed off right away. How misogynist. So,
wow.
Boy, I don't think this guy really, Matt McGloin, is really that much of a fan of the MCU.
No,
I could be wrong.
It doesn't seem like that.
No. I mean, it sounded like he sat down had his word processor and started off right away like this.
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass? What happens?
Well, the only movie out of Phase 4 that I even watched was Black Widow, and I didn't care for that too much.
That movie can get very boring. Yeah.
Well, and let's do a movie about a character that died that should have been out before that movie. So it's like, what do we have as an incentive? It's like, well, she's dead.
You know, they should have released a Black Widow movie before Endgame. I mean, I know that's the obvious answer right there, but really, that's when it should have been released.
Well, it was done. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was done. They could have done it, but they had sat on it and put it out after Endgame. Right? Am I wrong? I mean,
which is a stupid decision.
Yeah.
Just like there's a stupid decision of continuing to do Marvel series, Marvel movies. You need a break. Even Star Trek needed a break. I mean, what we're getting now isn't that great, but
yeah. Which shows that we need even more of a break.
Yeah. We need time for the creative juices to simmer.
And encouragement to have that one extra lobotomy so people can actually go in there and do something right, and you won't notice.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next story here.
Oh, I'm done reading? Great.
Yes, you're done reading.
It
also comes from Cosmic Book News. No, I'll read this one.
No, he's going to rock it.
Okay. Oh, he wants to do this.
Yeah,
he wants to do this because he's hoping for someone to pop in. Annie.
No. Whether Jace pops in or not, that's not why I'm reading the story. I just want to read the story because I find it interesting.
Oh, yeah, it is interesting.
Jace has already made his point clear. For him, the movies meet every expectation he has, every
it does.
Every aspect that he wants from a movie, he gets from Rebel Moon and Rebel Moon Part 2. He gets it from the director's cuts of both movies. I understand that.
Right. Isn't her clavicle kind of a little odd, though? I'm just taking a look at the clavicle there. I'm being serious, too. I don't know why I noticed that, but it kind of looks like there's a horseshoe in there.
I wonder if they did something in post-production.
I'm wondering, because I'm being completely serious. It's not like they haven't done that before.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
I know. I'm backing you up, man. I'm being your wingman.
So, again, this comes from Matt McGloin. And it says Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon director's cuts bombs with critics and fans on Rotten Tomatoes. Seems there is not much difference between the first versions, at least when it comes to reviews and ratings. Well, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon's director's cuts are currently bombing big time with critics and fans on Rotten Tomatoes, just like the first versions released on Netflix. the Rotten Tomatoes scores are in, and they're not good. The two-part director's cut is how Zach originally intended his Rebel Moon movies to be, but if the Rotten Tomatoes scores are any indication, the franchise might be DOA. From what I've also seen, there hasn't been much talk about the director's cuts, and they haven't been trending on trending on Netflix. They also happen to be recommended to me by Netflix way down the queue, as opposed to how Netflix started everyone's Netflix landing page with the first Rebel Moon. And there you see it. The tomato meter is tomato. Let's call the whole thing off.
I am
at 25%, and audience 66%. Well, that means that 66% of people happen to like it.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, sorry.
I was thinking it'd be much lower than 66 and 65, but still.
Yeah, I mean it's over Midland. Yeah. So that's that.
Now we do see it dropping here,
right?
It says Rebel Moon Part 2 Director's Cut Rotten Tomatoes score is at 33%. The audience score is at 65%. For comparison, Rebel Moon Part 1 A Child of Fire Rotten Tomatoes score is at 22%. The audience score is at 55%. So these are the director's cuts right here. This is when Part 1 and Part 2 released, and that's what they stood at the time.
So they're doing better than the original releases.
That's what it seems like. I mean, if you look at these numbers here, that's how I'm interpreting it.
Yeah, and the loss is just 1 percentage point. One. Not a huge one like that, going from 56 to 48.
Yeah. I'm going to keep saying it, that the thing that hurt Rebel Moon Part 2 for me was the slow motion. And that it took over an hour for the story to finally get going.
Look, I'm really happy this movie made Jace happy. But no, really, it did. But people are very divided on this. My problem with this, same as Mike's, I know that for sure, is that Part 2 was like, okay, when are we going to start getting to something more interesting after an hour? Okay, now it's starting to, and then it's like, wow, more slow motion. And Jace has told me, though, there's a lot less slow motion now with 3 hours. I'm just like, after Part 2, I just don't think I can watch a Snyder cut version, both 1 and 2. I just don't.
Well, the whole thing is slow motion. That's why it's an hour and a half movie that's 3 hours long.
Right. The slow motion is just too much. Now, according, like I said to Jace, there's a lot less slow motion in the Snyder cut version, but I'm like, do I really want to test that out? I just don't think I do. Right,
again,
exactly, TCAP.
Again,
yes.
There's nothing against Jace.
No.
Jace has explained it to us.
Oh, yeah.
In Discord, why he likes it.
That's
I
right.
get that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, after seeing Part 2 and Part 1,
yes,
I don't know that I could sit through 3 hours of Part 1 and 2 again. I just don't know that I can do it.
I still like Cora. Cora is not a Mary Sue. I will say that she is not a Mary Sue, and it was very refreshing. But
I mean, I like the first one. So I have no qualms with seeing the extended version, and of course, I purposely avoided Part 2, the quote unquote regular release, because I figured, well, if the other one's coming out that much sooner, why should I waste my time then? Especially when I'm saying this is the one you should watch. So I'm going to take that bullet for you guys. No, I'm serious. I want to see it.
You could end up watching the extended cuts of both films and come back here and tell us guys, I really enjoyed this. I'm not gonna go after you and say I can't believe Baron enjoyed part 1 and part 2.
Exactly. No.
You won't go off story road on me?
Why isn't he? Why is he preaching? His own AI band song that he wrote, and saying this about the films.
Everything sucks. Yeah, that's what they say. Pop Talk's dishing out negativity every single day.
Well, you know what'll happen. I come back and I actually like it. I think it's good. I'm going to tell both of you on air, you should get on your knees and beg forgiveness from Chase.
Beg.
We're sorry, Chase. We'll never doubt you again. No, but
seriously.
Yeah.
You come on here and you tell us that you liked it, and you tell us why you liked it. I'm
Right.
not going to shame you for it.
Exactly.
No, and that's going to be just it too. I'll explain why. Either way, if I like it or not, and this is the reason why I like it. This is the reason I don't like it. It could be both. Talking about that. Well, this is the good stuff. This was the stuff that I didn't think was good, or whatever. But you know what? At least I'm just not going to sit back and say it sucks. Leave us at that. No, I'll give you a reason why I thought so.
Yeah, that's why it's. That's why it's funny, because people will be like, "Do you guys like anything?" Of course we do, but what do you think? We've been around a while. Of course we're going to be critical. You should always be critical about stuff, even stuff you love. You should.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm critical about my baseball team when they don't make certain moves.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear about your team. Just no, don't even.
Wow.
The Twins and Cubs played a 3-game series. The Cubs ended up taking 2 out of 3 from the Twins, and it's a series that could have gone either way. Baron. Baron's mad at me because I'm the Cub fan and he's the Twins fan, and he doesn't like it that the Twins lost to the Cubs. Well, you know what? They can play their doubleheader starting on Friday. I think they're playing the Guardians. Sorry, I still call them Indians. I still
call whatever you want. Who cares, man?
They're Indians.
Guardians is a stupid name, anyways.
Dumbest name. Only thing dumber is calling the team the Wild.
I mean, I do. I still call them that because when somebody asks me, so what do you think of the 2016 World Series? I'm not going to call them the Cleveland Guardians.
Yes.
They weren't the Cleveland Guardians in 2016. They were the Cleveland Indians. So I'm going to say, yeah, for a while there, I thought the Cleveland Indians were going to win the World Series in 2016. And then the Cubs came back and won in my lifetime.
They did? No.
2-8. 2-8. 2-8. But
no, 8-2. 8-2. Ian Happ with a 2-run home run to right field in the bottom of the 4th. Then the Cubs would tack on a few more runs. See, you got me in that box score, Look
at what you've done, Baron. What have you done?
Yeah, but the Twins are 63-50, while the Cubs are 57-60. So there, you can't take that away.
Okay, you guys have the better record. I'll give you that.
Have.
But I said you guys have the better record. I'll give you that.
I can't believe Baron even watched baseball recently. What is going on?
No, I didn't watch it. I just saw this.
No, because he follows me on X, and I follow the Cubs.
Geez.
He sees that, and then he clicks onto it and goes, "Man, I really wanted to rub it in my face."
Baseball be very, very, very good to me.
Yeah. That's actually, I got it off the MSN feed thing. You have that on the bottom there, and they pop things up.
Games, man. Don't you want to watch some of baseball? Look, it's still pretty exciting. Yes, I will say it's been tainted, Baron. I'm not going to lie to you about that, but it's still pretty exciting, man.
It's really hard for me to get into. It's really hard for me to get into professional baseball. I hate to say, I wish I could, but it's just all the shenanigans that you do.
There's been shenanigans. Mike and I will not lie to you about that.
Mm-hmm. And baseball lost one of the most important people they had, and
okay. I had a feeling this would come up. that is not the same Billy Beane who was the general manager of the A's.
I know.
And then became the president of the A's organization. Right. That's a completely different Billy Beane. Person. Yes. Unfortunately, this particular Billy Beane passed away from cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He did.
No. The Billy Beane who was associated with the Oakland A's and also the movie Moneyball is still alive and well.
Yes.
Yep. But this Billy Beane was the one that was involved with all the DEI crap that we've been suffering from in baseball, because he had to come out loud and proud and just be.
Yeah, but Baron, I'm not going to shame the man when the man was suffering cancer and
I know he's. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm just sitting back saying on that part there. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see anybody die. I'd rather him lose that job another way where he's still breathing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad. It is sad. And
cancer sucks.
It does. Well, it took out our favorite nurse on Next Generation. Mm-hmm. It took out her sister, who was married to Senator Eman, or Emoe, or how you pronounce his name. And when she was 71, so she was 1 year older, because Patty was 70. I mean, you just kind of take a look at all this and boom,
yeah,
it's starting to rear its ugly little head again.
It is. It really is.
There's
still no cure for it either.
No.
And what do I think of Shohei Ohtani? I mean, he puts butts in the seats.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good ball player. He's a good two-way player.
Really good player. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Does he have a new translator?
Yes, he does. Yes. They so far everything he's been found clean, but as I said, in baseball, I would hope nothing else comes of it, but it's kind of weird because it's like, are you sure you didn't really know anything about it, Ohtani? So yeah, even as a Dodger fan, it's good to question.
Yeah, I know. I got my little suspicions, but I tell you what, in Japan, he's a big something over there, and everyone changes their jerseys when he changes the team. Let's just put it that way. They're proud of their own.
He's a huge deal, just like Hideo Nomo was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, heck, there are even fans that are excited about Shota Imanaga, who pitches for the Cubs, and also Seiya Suzuki, because the Cubs are going to be opening next season in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly, without Imanaga, I don't know where the Cubs record would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
He's quite a pitcher too. I mean, it's baseball's weird. I mean, you look at all the standings right now. Now we sound like we're back on the box score again, but it's Barron's fault. I blame Barron. Barron. Yeah.
Don't talk. I'm still mad about the Cubs.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, like I said, when it comes around the National League, I like the Cubs too. So
you know what, Baron?
They won.
You know what, Baron?
Lighten up, Francis.
Hey, I'm lighter than you, man. I'm not than you. What you talking about? Come on, man.
Come
on, man.
It's not a liquid. It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface.
But I see we got that mattress thing on, and I know I forgot to do one thing. Actually, I didn't. I was waiting for a good time. I think this is a good time for this to go. Fuck you, Mark Hamill. Okay, back to you, Mike.
Wow. Okay. Well, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. It certainly did. But
wow. Okay.
I want to invite everybody who is currently watching us over on Rumble and YouTube. For those of you on Rumble, stick around. For those of you on YouTube, join us. Come on. come over and join us. We got an article from that park place that we are going to talk about that we didn't have time to talk about on the YouTube side. But please, come on, join us.
Yes.
Come on in. The water is great. Yeah, the water is great. And if you stand by Cash Money, he had talkable today, so you have a jacuzzi as well.
All right. What the hell?
And before we go, I want to thank Decepticon's Cave of Collectibles. Good to see you, brother. The Padawannabe. You're wrong. Spacko! Hey, Spacko! By the way, Spock, I do need to get in contact with you soon and ask you if you're still available for next month's stream.
Oh, yeah.
Jet Sparks, good to see you. Big Daddy T-Gap, that's right. Big Daddy T-Gap came by. Leia Rose, the princess of YouTube.
And president and sole member of the Phil McCracken fan club.
Speaking of Phil McCracken, always nice to see Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and well, you know what we got to say about that, don't you? We have Phil in here, and
Phil McCracken, worst troll ever.
He is.
DJ Ronnie G, always good to see you, brother. Ghost Rider, good to see you.
He scares me. He's a ghost.
And Gabrielle Discordia, I'm sorry you found us boring, but give us another chance. Never know.
I think that person's been here before, actually, but
I think you're right. He may have been. Well, it's off of your channel, man.
I was gonna say that was on your side.
Yeah, it was. I think they had joined because of Fallout 76. I don't know. You never know with these people.
Why?
That's why you shouldn't be so quick to judge a show, because on your channel, when you're doing your streams like Fallout 76, that's your thing. For Pop Talk, we've all agreed. Let's just share it out and stream it on all our channels.
Yeah, I mean, if people are bored of details, too bad. We're people who like details. You don't like that? I don't know what to tell you.
I try to be informative. Try to pass off the knowledge that I have, and if I can't pass it off, then Baron gives his knowledge. DJ Ronnie G's been on the panel plenty of times and passed along knowledge
about turtles.
Well, not just about turtles, but astrology.
Oh, astronomy.
I know. I made know.
I'd love to see him with the Swami hat. I would love to see him with the Swami hat and all the charts sitting back saying, "Okay, when were you born? Well, you were in the retrograde of."
But you know what? He could know astrology too, because astrology and astronomy go together.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's getting more and more difficult to make a save.
And this is exactly why DJ Ronnie G loves astrology. He's all about pseudoscience.
But folks, thank you all for joining us on the YouTube sides. Again, Rumble, stick around. And until next time, everybody, take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Phantom Hooligans is gone.
Hooligans. Good. About time.
Yeah, Baron Orman Tagge is gone too.
Now I am. Yeah. Now I'm gone.
Is gone. Come on, folks. Come on to Rumble. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Do it now.